If you're looking for the best camping coffee maker on the market, then my friends, you are in the right place. Today we are reviewing the Clever Dripper. So this could be quite interesting because this is designed to make coffee cleanly and cleverly, hence the name for two people. And that is my possibly one downfall with the AeroPress, is that I brew it twice for 2 cups of coffee. So if Johnny's coming away camping with me, it means I've got to brew 2 coffees. It's not the end of the world. I still love my AeroPress, but it's probably the one thing that I find a little bit irritating about it. So I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go and seeing if this is going to find pride of place in Myrtle the camper van. Hey, thanks for joining me. My name's Jane Sarche. This is Myrtle the camper van, and it's together in this tiny kitchen that we bring you guys awesome one-pot camping recipes and camping coffee maker reviews, so it seems. If that sounds like your cup of joe, then follow the link in the description box below. Come and join our little community and the little tasty adventures that me and Myrtle head out on. So I haven't had a coffee yet today. I'm gasping, so I'd really like to get on with it first, if that's all right with you. As always, I have already opened this box because I wanted to wash the thing up before I go and drink out of it. So just to let you know, it comes with a little bit of bubble wrap and 2 plastic bags. These are utterly unnecessary. This, I always reuse bubble wrap, so I don't see that as being the end of the world. I guess they need some kind of padding in there for shipping. I'm not too fussed with that. Inside you get a massive, great big stonking pack of papers. There's 100 of them in there, so that's good to know. Then that is the actual Clever Dripper. Now, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, if I'm honest. It's plastic. I don't like the whole 70s smoked plastic vibe that it's giving off, but I think I need to start looking past beauty and looking for function in a coffee maker, so I'm not writing it off because of how it looks. We also have a test report written in Japanese. Although I spent time in Japan, I don't read it. And also the manual. It comes with 1 lid and 2 lids. At this point, I have no idea what these are for, so we'll work that out in a minute. And then the thing that makes this Clever Dripper clever, I think, is that you make the coffee in this bit, obviously. Then when it's brewed, you put it over your cup. That pushes that plate up, which opens that ball valve there, which lets the coffee flow into the cup. And then when you lift it back up off cup 1, it closes it. And then you move it over to cup 2 and you drain the rest of it out. I think. I might be making that up though. So let me have a quick read of these instructions. I'm going to make myself a brew using these instructions as always, and then I'm going to disappear for the rest of the week and keep my fingers crossed that I'm going to get me some good coffee. Okay, looks all pretty straightforward. Let me clear this lot up, put the kettle on, and then we shall give it a go. Okay, so there's one of the paper filters. That's my kettle boiling. Let's turn that off. So it's not telling me to fold an edge, so let's see how that works. Oh, no, that is clever. When you put the filter in, you kind of push it down in there and it keeps it open. That's very clever, Clever Dripper. Pour in the hot water to warm the dripper and release the water into cup for pre-warming. Warming. This feels really wrong. This feels like when I pour the water in there, that it's just all going to come out the bottom. So I've just moved my leg, but apparently it's not going to. This kettle, oops. That was me, not the Clever Dripper. I love this battered old camping kettle. As you can see, it's had a good life. It's the pouring function for making pour over coffee is terrible. The water is not going anywhere. I don't know if you can see the water in there. I've cleaned the paper. I'm warming the whole unit, which is now warm. And then you pour that over your cup. That's really cool. And that's now going to warm your cup before you make your coffee. So far, very clever, Clever Dripper. Okay, for a course, I'm just going to have to grind some up. So bear with me. I'll link to this coffee grinder below if anyone is interested. It's just the cheapest of the well-rated burr grinders that I could find. Nothing fancy about it. It does get quite annoying when you've got to grind a lot of coffee. It's a good little workout for your upper arms. But it does do the job, and you can control the size of the grounds really, really well using this, which I'm actually quite impressed with. Prior to this, I was just using an electric blade grinder, which apparently is not the best way to be chopping up your coffee beans. You want to go for a burr grinder over a blade grinder, apparently. Right. Oh, man. Such a good smell. Right, let's put the AeroPress amount in. Like that. Oh, I never worked out what these 2 things are for. That one is a cover lid. That one is a coaster. Ah, so it's what you stand that on. Oh, that's nice. That'll save you woodwork. That's a very nice little touch. Right, so my cup is really warm. My hands are so cold, that feels lush. Now it's not telling me to let this bloom, it is just telling me pour in hot water. So we'll do it as per the instructions, and then we'll try it over the next week and we'll try and perfect it for you. So I will keep an eye on 4 minutes on the clock on my video on the phone, and I'll be back in just a mo and to show you what happens. But that's how it's looking at the moment, just a couple of seconds in. It's all very interesting. I think it's going to make for good cleanup as well, because presumably you just pull that paper filter out with all the grounds in and chuck that directly into the compost bin or regular bin. So while we're waiting for our lovely little coffee to brew, quick shout out for Owen's Organic Roastery in Ivybridge in Devon. These guys are a fabulous little roastery which I recently found, and I love what they do. They really give a damn about the producers and the growers of the beans, right through every single step getting that bean into your cup. They really truly give a damn. Follow the link below if you'd like to find out more about them, and if you go onto their website, the one that I always use is their Dart blend, and that's short for Dartmoor because they're on the edge of Dartmoor. Really, really lovely company. And if you go and hit them up on social, do say that I sent you over. New camera rig today. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I've got a little mic on, which I'm hoping is going to mean that the sound quality of these videos gets a little bit better. Let me know in the comments below. I'm also currently shooting on my Galaxy S9 as opposed to my Canon G7X, which I normally shoot on, or the GoPro, which I think I've probably given up on because the footage in Myrtle is just terrible. And I've also got a little cube light above my head here, as you can see. Let me know in the comments if this is an improvement, or should I go back to using the little Canon G7X. Alrighty, my time is up. So just taking it off the little coaster, there's not a drop. There's a little bit of steam on there, but there's not a single drop of water has leaked out of here, which is good. So now I'm just gonna sit the coffee maker on top of the cup. Okay, so that's pressed down. Now, did I get all of that out? I wonder why I don't get that last drag out. So now I've just pulled it up off the cup and it completely stops dripping. So I just put that back on the little coaster. I haven't put enough water in there. I'm only up to about there, which I would prefer it to be fuller, but it doesn't look horribly strong. Smells lovely. Ah, I'm happy. That's really easy drinking. I didn't think I was going to like this one. Isn't it funny? The ones I think I'm going to love are terrible. But right now, I'm actually thinking this is a very good contender for the camper van, and especially when there's two of us, me and Johnny, camping together, because you just have to boil the kettle once. Anyway, I'm going to sit and enjoy the rest of this brew, and then I'm going to disappear for the week, and I'm going to be using this thing at least once a day, possibly even more. I'm going to try and become an expert in the Clever Dripper, and then I'm going to pop back in just a few minutes / next week, and then I'll give you the full-on update, the full-on review. I will score it out of 100. I'll whack it on the leaderboard, and I will let you know if I'm going to replace my AeroPress with the Clever Dripper in Myrtle the camper van. See you in a sec. Alright guys, that was a bloody good week. This thing works a treat. It really does actually live up to its name, I have to say. Superb. We've tested this actually more than once a day because we've really enjoyed using it. It's such a smart design. It makes you drink more coffee than you perhaps should be. So what do you need to know about it? It's called the Clever Dripper. It ranges in price from about 20 to 25 quid. The loose papers, so it comes with 100, did we say? Yeah, it comes with 100 papers. When they run out and you have to buy more, they range from about £3 to about £10. Reading the Amazon comments, it seems people prefer the unbleached papers rather than the bleached ones. Apparently they can taste a difference. I honestly am not sure that I would be able to taste a difference, but maybe that'll be another review I do one day on actually if my taste buds can even pick that kind of nuance up. The Amazon reviews, this gets a very, very impressive 4.8 out of 5. People rave about this thing, and I totally get why. You've heard me all rave about the AeroPress. This, I would say it was up there. This makes a fine cup of coffee, but the real thing that I love about this is that it makes that superb cup of coffee for 2 people. Whereas the AeroPress, apparently you can officially make 2 cups of coffee out of it. I don't like doing it that way. It doesn't taste right. I have to make one coffee and then pass that over to the person and then make another cup, and like, I don't like doing that. That does wind me up about the AeroPress. Whereas this thing, it's so smart. You just make the coffee there on the counter or in a field or in your camper van or in your tent. You make the coffee and then you can just very simply put it over cup 1, put it over cup 2. It's brilliant. I like it very much. Alrighty, what else do you need to know? One thing I have found through using it this week is just pouring the water over and then popping the lid on and leaving it for the 4 minutes didn't give me as good a result as using a teaspoon and stirring once the water is in and then putting the lid on and then leaving. Tiny difference. I really could taste the difference in that. So I would recommend giving those grounds with the hot water a little stir whilst they're all in there doing their thing before you drain it off into a cup. I found that I got a stronger and more balanced cup of coffee that way. Now I found this made a hotter cup of coffee than the earlier review I did for the Hario V60, because you've got a cold ceramic unit there, and even though you're heating the paper, the water flushes straight through, whereas this thing you can actually keep hot water in here for as long as you want really. The plastic heats up pretty well, and then you release it into your cup and you're preheating your cup as well for as long as you like. The whole thing, it's very, very clever. I do like that. And that just means that when you then fill it up with coffee and then the coffee goes into the hot mug, like, it's really good. That temperature is cracking. Another thing about the temperature I would say is that once I've poured my water in here, if there's 2 of us, this doesn't really matter if I'm just making coffee for 1, but if I'm making 2 cups of coffee, whilst I've poured all the water in, I've popped the lid on and I'm waiting for my 4 minutes, I then reboil the kettle so that when I've then pushed out half into cup 1, half into cup 2, they generally do want a little bit of topping up. For me, for a black Americano, it's just how I like it. And then I use water that's just off the boil to top those both up, and it's perfect and piping hot. And I mean, who doesn't love a hot cup of coffee? Let's be honest. Now, part of the key to this is that you're actually combining 2 different methods of making coffee. So you've got the immersion, because you're holding the coffee and the water in the unit. It's not draining straight out like it is with the V60. You're holding it in there and it's immersed in it. It's soaking in that water. And then once you put it over the cup and you press down, then you're also using the drip function as well. So you're kind of combining 2 methods of making coffee, and I think it does it very elegantly. I will say that I don't like this cloudy brown plastic, but I have seen on Amazon that they do a clear version, which it looks much nicer, if I'm honest. I don't know if it would discolour over time, I have no idea. But yeah, the colour for me it's naff, but I would actually quite happily overlook that, because as I've already discovered, some of the prettier coffee makers do a crap job. And actually, let's be honest, the AeroPress, it's not pretty, but it's very efficient. Okay, do you want some scores? I think possibly you do. So, ease of use, 10 out of 10. You can't go wrong. And whatever ratio or of water to coffee to grounds to what, you're not going to get a bad cup of coffee out of this. I haven't had one bad, even though I've been playing around with different ground settings and different amounts of water, and there has not been one cup of coffee that has been disappointing this week. It's brilliant. If you're new to making real coffee, if you want to get off the instant, then seriously, this is a really good one to go for. Ease of cleanup is also getting a 10 out of 10. Get me! It's so simple. You just pick up that paper filter and you put it in your compost bin or in your bin. Yes, if I was at home, I would rinse this out of hot water. When I'm in the camper van, that ain't gonna happen. Now, it's not dishwasher proof, it's worth noting that at this point, but seriously, a quick rinse through with some hot soapy water when you're doing the washing up, and like, that's all you really need. It's very, very easy to clean up. Quality of brew, 9 out of 10. This isn't that perfect, dreamy cup of coffee that you get once in a blue moon that I still don't know what causes that coffee to be so damn good, but we're pretty close. Every single cup I had from this thing was excellent. Really, really good. Johnny felt the same. He loved this thing too, and I think he's going to be getting one of these for his van, which, by the way, have I mentioned recently, his van build has come on leaps and bounds. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for him to finish and for me to be able to stick together all those photos he's taken from when that van was a tip and didn't run to what it is now. It's like he's worked so hard on it and it looks fab. Anyway, back to the Clever Dripper. Style 7 out of 10, which is mean of me. It's just because it reminds me of the worst aspects of the 1970s. That's all it is. Let's move on. I'm just mean. Design 10 out of 10. Unfaultable. Actually, there could be a fault because I'm not sure longevity wise, which we're coming on to next, durability. I'm not entirely sure how long this is going to last. So that could be a problem. Some of the Amazon reviews aren't brilliant. You drop that, you're going to know about it. And apparently some people have had trouble because obviously if you're in a cold room or in a cold camper van and you pour boiling water in it and then it gets cold and then boiling water, cold, boiling, it is going to degrade the plastic pretty damn quickly. And also that little rubber bit in the bottom there that works the magic. I obviously haven't had it long enough to really be able to say much about that. But because of the reviews that I've been reading and the feel of it, like I know that if I drop that on concrete, it wouldn't survive. So I am going to mark it down for that. Unfortunately, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for durability. But you know, fingers crossed, I'm still using this in 5 years' time. Who knows? Waste, 8 out of 10. Apart from those 2 little plastic bags in the box and that little bit of bubble wrap, that I am happy to recycle, no problem. Cardboard box. So long as this does last, then really waste-wise, excellent. Every time you make a coffee, you throw away a paper filter, but like I said, that goes in the compost bin, so I have no problems with that. Weight and storage, it's certainly not heavy. Okay, with all of it, with the coaster and the lid and the whole shebang, 286 grams. So weight-wise, it's really not heavy at all, but it is pretty big and bulky. It's not going to work if you're backpacking or if you're possibly even if you're tent camping. But for a camper van, I can certainly find room to store this, not a problem. And finally, for the wow factor. Now, it's not a visual wow factor that I'm voting for here because, like I said, 1970s, like smoked plastic, it ain't really my bag. But the wow factor in the design, how can they take something that's so classic, like the drip filter, and do something with it that is just so clever? It really is a very, very impressive design. So for my wow factor, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now, if my mathematics are up to scratch, then overall, I reckon that gets an 82 out of 100. That's pretty impressive, right? And you know, one of the things I'm really gonna like is when we're at a festival or we're having a nice, lazy weekend away camping, this is gonna be fun to make coffee for 2 people. The AeroPress, like I say, I find it all a bit annoying for 2 people. But this, you know, that whole putting the kettle on and like having a quick flick through Facebook and Instagram and then waiting that 4 minutes for it to brew. Like if I'm in a hurry at home, I'd probably find that 4 minutes all a bit irritating when I can just bish bosh bash an AeroPress through in 45 seconds. But I think the whole ritual will become part of this, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this coffee maker. I really, really, really do enjoy using it. I would like to see them make another updated design. Like if they could do one in stainless steel, I don't know how feasible that would be, but I would pay it through the nose for a stainless steel version of this. I don't like it being plastic, I have to be honest. I haven't seen a stainless steel version, but if you find one or if you hear of a different build material than this one, please would you let me know in the comments below, because I would really like to check that out. But for now, I have this one. This one makes me happy, it makes me caffeinated, and that is all good. Alright, beautiful people, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now, don't forget, you can pop on over to our website at hedgecombers.com, and while you're there, sign up to our newsletter so you get updated about all our latest videos, our latest reviews, and all the upcoming exciting information about my TV show, which is coming out very soon. I kid you not, it's happening. It's called Hedgecombers Kitchen. We will be releasing the date of launch very, very soon. So scramble on over to hedgecombers.com, sign up to our newsletter. You're also going to get a nice little free gift to say thank you. And that's it for today. Have a brilliant week, a fantastic weekend, whatever you're up to, and I shall look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, happy camping.